Hi, I'm George Celios with Fine Scale Miniatures, and you are watching What's Neat This Week with Ken Patterson.
Screen capture in 3 seconds. Okay. Bringing Skype back up on full screen. Hey, Joe. It's good to see you, buddy. Yeah, handsome devil. He looks so good, doesn't he? All right. All these wonderful people. Great editors, great people, and a great snowstorm this week. There's a lot of nice stuff to talk about, guys. I'm so looking forward to this. And Steve, you had a great train show. I can't wait to hear the results when you talk about that. I like the smile on your face when you talk about it.
Well, we were very happy in that.
That's awesome. All right, we've got Richard Bianca running camera for us tonight. Hey, Richard. Give us a countdown and let's have some fun.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975.
Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast.
This is the What's Neat This Week show number 184 for February 5th, 2022. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine. And I always love saying that. Well, look, tonight we've actually got the editor of that magazine with us, the publisher, Joe Fugate. Hey, Joe, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, Ken. How
nice.
you guys doing?
We made it to a snowstorm here. Also, on the other side of me, I've got my favorite James Regier. Hey, James.
Hi, everybody.
We got some cool stuff you're talking about. And look at those beautiful locomotives. Wow. On the other side where Mikey usually sits, we've got Steve Mantilla tonight.
Hello, everybody.
Steve, we love you, brother, our favorite electrician. Now, as I alluded to a moment ago, and probably the opening before we opened the show, was we in fact got hammered by probably one of our best snowstorms, I would say, in the last 5 years. If you want to call it the best. TV referred to it as the worst, but it was so beautiful, I can't even start to tell you. I'm going to show you a pan shot of the backyard. I think we got about 7 or 8, possibly 9 inches, depending upon where you lived around here. Areas north got closer to 14 inches. The Garden Railroad, the train station out there, was absolutely buried. That'll kind of give you some definition of what it was like out there. It wasn't so much the depth as it was, of course, winding, blowing snow. That's always a deal. Of course, I plowed the driveway here so that we all could have a place to park tonight.
I'm glad you did.
Now, Ken, for your Garden Railroad, did you retain that rotary snow plow?
I have a snow plow that Aristocraft made, and it's a wedge plow, and it's really kind of cool.
Yeah. Did it see any action this week?
It did not.
Oh, okay.
I did not want to go out there and actually mess with that because, as you saw on the previous shows, it's going to be springtime before that track is fully operational again. There's no hurry because our temperatures last night, it was 2 degrees. So 2 degrees is not fun to go outside and model your trains. I mean, imagine if your basement was 2 degrees. Would you really want to work on your layout?
No.
I mean, hello.
Yeah, our basement's like 40 degrees, and I really want to go down there.
So anyway, it's beautiful. The parking areas, everything's great. It was so nice to see. I do want to show you this one photograph that I shot in the backyard. Sunrises in snow are as beautiful as it gets around here. That's the best scenery you can get from the living room window, simply because all the leaves are down. You can see the river and the sunrise and the snow. It is just an absolute exquisite oil painting, except for this is real. You can actually look at it. So other than that, let's talk about the Amherst show that took place in Springfield, Massachusetts. That was last weekend, wasn't it?
That's right.
I've got some video clips and some still photographs that Doug Blaine and Neil Maltz from East Coast Circuits sent me. Doug Blaine from Bachmann Trains in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania sent us some photos too. And they shot photos of the overall room. I've been to this show, and it's an extremely large show. It's generally always packed with people. But this year they had that nor'easter up there, which I think had something to do with maybe possibly the light crowd that you might be seeing in these photographs right now. Also, Neil Maltz, the photographs of the Bachmann-9 locomotives are out. And they had 4 of them sitting on the table up there. They were really beautiful to look at. A lot of large-scale stuff, including an entire new line of track that they've got in G-scale. And, of course, they showed these beautiful Charger locomotives. I got 2 paint schemes here on the table. They had an additional 2 on their table up there, because presently I think they got 4 or 5 different Chargers, and those are coming out in N-scale very shortly. So the N-scale guys are absolutely going to be excited about that, and it'll be powered with a TCS decoder from Train Control Systems, just like the HO-scale models are. So you can bet it's going to be a quality presentation. So thank you, Neil and Doug, for the photographs of the show. I do want to say that Neil sent us a video clip of his booth, and if you recall, East Coast Circuits is the company that makes those beautiful little police cars and fire engines, with some of them having up to 43 or 44 LEDs in them, flashing and lighting. As Campbell Rice told us, it's absolutely accurate per the prototype. And he showed us this clip that I'm running right now of the booth. What an amazing booth to have all these little lights running on a surface like that, stair-stepped surface. It was very beautiful. Now, here in St. Louis last week, we had the Great American Train Show.
Right.
That you and I saw each other at, and you were at.
Yes.
And that show was good because the weather here was about 45 degrees. It was sunny, and that place was packed. I will show you a B-roll shot of the entire room as I pan through the room. It was just 23 seconds here of just wall-to-wall people, a lot of happy vendors, just a lot of smiles. It seemed like totally normal here in St. Louis. It was a wonderful show, and that's because the weather was nice. Now, if it would have been this weekend, it probably would have been a different story,
really affected,
right?
yes.
Tell me, you were at that. You were a vendor, Steve. Tell us what kind of results you had at that show.
The show was unbelievable. The crowd, no matter what ages it seemed, young and to old, there were a ton of people there. We spread out our stuff on the tables, and people were buying, and makes us happy to that standpoint. Glenda and I were busy as soon as the show opened. It was basically just gangbusters, and the biggest thing, we're busy in selling from whether it was HO or the Lionel, the O scale. It was just a very good show. It took us a while to finally have a break to have our lunch.
Yeah.
Right.
You even sold a CF7, if
Yes,
I
I
recall.
did.
Yes.
I even gave that.
You bought it, right?
Yeah.
I gave that person a discount too. So that's it.
Such a deal.
And what's always nice with the shows, I sold some things, and then going back to the fact that you're trying to always accumulate more. I gained a couple leads on trying to go and buy some more train collections in that.
That's
So
right.
Yeah.
You buy collections.
I buy train collections, and
right.
right before the show on Sunday morning, I bought an N-scale collection. So you're always finding,
that's
you're
neat.
picking up things here and there, which made a very good, enjoyable weekend for my wife and I.
Just for fun, throw out your phone number for folks that might have an estate or have a lot of trains they're not sure what to do with. Like in the event I drop dead, what are they going to do with all this stuff?
Well,
They would call you.
Right there, I would be right at the door, making sure to do whatever. But
Just keep them happy. Go ahead, shoot your phone number.
it's 314-369-3949.
Perfect. Now, before I launch out to Joe out in Skype land, I do want to say that the February 2022 video is complete. And in that video, our favorite Jennifer Kirk from the UK does an amazing segment on static grass. She shows us products from World War Scenics, that company from the UK that sells long nap static grass, short nap static grass, and multiple types of static grass guns. And it's just, she's an amazing producer of video when it comes to quality. I'm really happy with her work. Also in that video, Dan Scheidel, our drone pilot, he shares with us some beautiful snow footage of the Missouri Pacific Heritage, actually it's Union Pacific MOPAC Heritage Unit, running through the snow, running through the countryside, and as it comes out of the mountains, it gets into the lower territory where there's no snow. Great shot of it crossing a beautiful bridge and modeling ideas from above, because The drone footage is shot from the exact same height that we view our layouts from. And if you make your layout look just like that, all the answers are there. So it's wonderful to have footage like this. Thank you, Dan Chidell. Also, I show in that video how I build these shelves. I actually get our hands dirty, build some, and add them to these shelves, and show how to stair step and make these shelves for holding trains, which is kind of a great method. It's been working good for me for over 20 years. Also, Larry Harrington from Bachmann Trains in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, shares with us a lot of new models that Bachmann is coming out with, newly announced first on the show, including that beautiful N-scale Charger locomotive that I alluded to a little earlier in the show. So, Joe, it's wonderful to have you. You have got undoubtedly one of the most well-produced electronic internet magazines out there. But you also have Running Extra. You also do Train Masters TV. You've got a lot of irons in the fire, Joe. So welcome to our show tonight. I want you to tell us about your passion for how you provide the hobby for us.
Well, Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine, we've been producing this magazine since 2009. And it's MRH, Model Railroad Hobbyist, was the first thing we did, and it was ad supported. So that means it's between 150 and 200 pages of all free content every month. And we've been doing that, like I said, since 2009. Then in 2018, we were in a situation where we had a good backlog of articles, and we weren't quite sure what to do with all these articles we were accumulating, because although the free magazine is ad supported, we only can produce as many pages as the ads will pay for. So with Running Extra, we actually add another 100 pages, but it's not free. That part's $2.99. And let me share my screen with you here.
You can do that. That's amazing. I don't know how to do that. I need to learn.
It's the share screen button there, Ken.
Oh, wow. Is that right?
Yeah, you use the share screen button.
Am I blonde?
Hopefully you guys can see my screen.
Look at that.
This is the Model Railroad Hobbyist homepage, mrhmag.com. It says right up here at the top. And then MRH for January is the perfect storm. And you can see Running Extra here. We also have a forum. So I'll switch over to the forum here. And we've gone to this new forum software as of December. So this is new software, and it's very mobile friendly now. We're pretty thrilled with that. So it works good on phones and tablets.
That looks cool.
As well. And so we pinned to the top here the current issue, which right now is the January issue. February will be coming out in another week or so. And so let me go back to the top here. So here's the January issue of Model Railroad Hobbyist, and you can read it online just by doing this, and it comes up online, and then you can page through it, and so on. So oh, looky there, James Regier, actually.
Oh, that's right. Wow, you're editing for him, aren't you?
Now, Joe, we don't want to discourage people from reading the magazine.
Look at that. There's your mug right there.
Right. So go back to the table of contents. Everything's clickable.
Good job.
So for instance, that cover story, The Perfect Storm, I can click here, and bam, there I am on The Perfect Storm. And, you can page through it. This is actually a story about an N-scale modeler who decided everything just sort of all came together where he had this layout that was almost finished, but he was dissatisfied with it, and it gave a number of things that everything all just kind of came together at once. And so he decided to rip it out and make a lot of major changes to it. So that's what this article is about, The Perfect Storm. And so I can go back to the table of contents, and if there's anything else, oh yeah, there's an article in here on our DCC shortcuts card. And so you can see this is a card that we produce. This is free, this card. And so let me jump to that card real quick. So if you're a DCC person, you need to get this free card printed out and keep it close to the layout, because it's got all kinds of handy things in here that will help you. For instance, what if the loco doesn't move? Here's a set of steps that you can go through. If you just work through these steps, as long as the track's clean and the wheels are clean, then you should be able to figure out what the problem is and get it working again.
That's interesting.
How,
Yeah.
Very nice.
yeah, how about setting optimum low speed, slow speed performance? Here's the whole process that you step through, that if you do this process, you'll get really good low speed performance on your locomotive with your decoder. And then we also include some other things in here. Like here's the common CVs that are typical across all decoders. And then good old CV29, if you've worked with decoders much, you know that CV29 is sort of the nexus configuration variable that has a lot of settings that control a lot of important things in the locomotive. And so here is every bit mapped out, and then what the default setting is. For instance, the default setting, say on DC sensing, right here, this one, we mark the default, or actually the recommended setting is what I mean. The recommended setting is in green, okay? And you want to set this one off. We recommend you set this one off, other than on. And then other recommended settings, like how many speed steps do you want, 14 or 28/128? We recommend you set that on to get 128 speed steps, and so on. So the other thing that is kind of handy is a lot of times I have seen posts on the forum, hey, I got this locomotive, I just got it off of eBay, and it's got a decoder in it, and I don't want to really tear the shell off because, you know, it's nicely weathered and everything, but I'd like to know what kind of decoder's in there. Well, how do you do that? Well, it turns out that you can just check CV8, which is the manufacturer's ID. And so I check CV8, let's say, and you know, I get a number back that says 129. Well, what in the heck's that mean? Well, we've got all the manufacturer IDs listed down here on the bottom. So you can just go down and take a look. And so I look down here through the list and I see, 129. That's Digitrax.
Okay.
It's a Digitrax decoder in that locomotive.
Yes.
Okay.
That's useful. Yeah.
Dude, this is amazing.
So yeah, you keep this thing, print it out. You can laminate it. You can put it in a sheet protector like we show in that back in that article. Here, it's in a sheet protector, and yeah, keep it near the layout. And again, this is free. It's part of what's in this particular issue. And I go through the issue, go through the card, and let me back up here. So I show you each area on the card and explain what it does, tell you how to use it. We step through the process.
NCE. I like NCE.
Step through the process of how to use different things like getting optimum slow speed performance. That's in area 5 on the card. And so I take you through the steps and explain how the steps work. So yeah, that's an example of some of the cool free stuff that we include. You know, you not only get the magazine free, but every now and then we'll throw in some other free goodies too.
Well, and the neat thing is that all these magazines from now back to 2009 are available online. I can't tell you the number of times I've been working on a project, had a question, Googled it, and there's an MRH article explaining it, walking through it.
There you go.
So it's pretty useful.
Yeah, so we have a table of contents index that you can access. So you can actually, let's say you wanted to type in turnout. So, you can go to the website, and there's this thing called a table of contents index. So I can go to that index, and so I can type in turnouts. So let's do that. TURNOUTS, turnouts, right? Search. Well, there's all of the articles that have something to do with turnouts. February 2017, April 2015, September 2011, May 2010, July 2019. There were 2 of them, 2 articles in that particular issue. And just whatever you want to look up. So I can do like diesels. Let's look up diesel and see what we find. So there's all the articles that have something to do with diesels.
That's
And the other
amazing.
cool-
That's amazing.
Yeah, very nice.
The other
yes.
cool thing you can do too is, if I look through the list, say, okay, here's something, an SPSF. Well, let's pick something else here. Okay, taking an Atlas C420 to the next level. Well, what you can do is you can actually click here,
There's the article.
and there's the article.
That's fabulous. Now, are you telling me that what you're showing us right now is a whole new presentation of the magazine? You've got a whole new, what do you call it? Forum,
yeah.
presentation. So this is all new. You've just recently done this to the magazine.
Yeah, some of this was there, but it's a new mobile friendly, even better than it used to be kind
Okay,
of
all right.
presentation.
New hosting, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I didn't know. It's
Yes,
just fabulous.
and, you can read all the issues. You can download them. Many of the issues, not all of them, but many of the issues are available online to read, so you can look at them directly on your computer. In addition to that, we have Trainmasters TV, which is I call it Netflix for model trains, which is our basically our video channel for trains. Anything to do with the hobby model trains. And so it's set up, it looks a lot like Netflix or whatever. So for instance, I can go here to say, look at the section that says locomotives right here. And then I can go see all. And so there's all the articles that are specifically about locomotives. And some of these are multiple parts.
Okay.
So like this one, Notch 8, weathering steam locomotives. I drill into that, and there's actually part 1, part 2, part 3. So there's 3 parts in there, and you can just keep exploring this to see all the things, all the videos are available. I think last time we checked, there's something on the order of between 600 and 700 different videos out here. We keep adding a new 2 to 3 new videos a month.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I don't think
And,
you've ever had us this speechless before. I mean, we're
No.
not even talking. We're just
Now I'll just point out now while I'm thinking about it, in this Trainmasters TV. Now Joe was out here 2 years ago when the convention was originally supposed to be in St. Louis, and he was filming all these layouts
Yes.
for Trainmasters TV. And so those should still be up there if you're thinking of coming out to St. Louis for the convention this year.
Yes.
You can see what the OPSIG layouts you'll be touring, what the personal layouts you'll be seeing will look like, and that kind of thing. And let me tell you, there's a lot of inspiring layouts in the St. Louis area.
there are
Yes,
that.
I'm sure of that.
John Peluso's Frisco, Joe
That's a beautiful
Byzantine's
layout.
East Bluff, John Russell's. Is John still around, still kicking?
Oh, John Peluso, yes. As far as I know.
Well, I mean John Russell. He has a O-scale Rock Island Railroad. The
Fascinating.
reason why I asked is John was kind of getting up there. And anyway, a beautiful O-scale Rock Island. And then Pete
Oh.
Smith's Loon Lake Railway.
Yes.
We had that. And so, yeah, we did a number of St. Louis area layouts. And so, yeah, as far as layout tours, that's sort of our forte. And
That
so
was
you
a
go
fun
look-
week. We had you out here at the house. You stayed with us on the bluff for 5 or 6 days. I didn't get to see you very much because you left in the morning and you were filming all day, and then you'd come back at night. But I do remember the guys all came down here. We convoluted and got together and had a get together, and it was kind of fun in that there was a lot of camaraderie in the room. And Joe, I saw that you really enjoyed that. That was a good night.
Yes, that was fun, Ken. That was fun. I should have drug out the video camera at night too and shot a little video. But yes, that was definitely a fun time. So yeah, I was here all week shooting videos, and they all ended up with a number of videos up on Trainmasters to do with the St. Louis area. So yeah, and every layout's different. It's fascinating, just the difference. And when we do a Trainmasters TV video on a layout, we try to find out what makes that particular layout unique, and we try to put that into the layout story.
Okay.
And we've been told that the the more documentary kind of Discovery Channel approach that we take to producing things like our layout tours are interesting even to the rest of the family. And I've had a number of people told me, man, my wife likes to watch these videos with me. And so, yeah, that's a nice compliment to have be told that. So.
Yeah.
One of these days. Joe, you've also got an amazing YouTube channel. The only reason I know that is that's where you host my show that we produce since 2012 November, What's Neat This Week in Model Railroading. And that's a show where we get our hands dirty. We've got how-tos. We've had some great interviews. We've toured the country. We've gone through layouts around the country, Colorado, and just different parts, and we're going to do a lot more of that. And I did say that the February's video is coming out here around the 15th when you release it on the Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine's YouTube channel. And I also want to say that March is just about done. My deadline for that is in 5 more days, and I will have it to you on time. And in that video, we do actually, there's some good stuff in that video. I got this all written down here, and I don't know where to start. There's an amazing layout that I did an interview on last week at this Great American Train Show.
Oh, yes.
Andrew Bobbis. Mm-hmm. This guy built a Santa Fe modular layout, and he literally, him and one other friend of his, it was huge, and he muscled this thing all by himself to the show, set it all up, had all the trains running, and it was absolutely prototypically accurate scenery. Barstow, the shops in Barstow were well represented. Topeka, the train station at Topeka, Kansas was just scale on, dead on, perfectly built.
I've been following him through the construction of a lot of this layout on some of the Santa Fe Facebook groups that he's been posting his progress photos on and everything like that. But the Topeka layout, I tell you, that is absolutely recognizable as the train station of Topeka, Kansas.
Correct.
And he's just done a beautiful job. He said one of his major influences was the Museum of Science and Industry layout in Chicago. And back several years ago, when I was there most recently, probably about 10, 15 years ago, it was of course BNSF, Chicago to Seattle and LA, and some of those buildings were gone, and it was all updated and modernized. He went back to model the layout to represent the Santa Fe Railway from Chicago to Los Angeles, circa 1959.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
Also in the March video, there is the Bachmann catalog cover shoot, which actually turned into a process of in between snowstorms and 30-mile-an-hour winds and the various changes that were made throughout the production of that cover shot, which came out absolutely amazing. I'm not going to show it yet on this show, but how that photo was done and the sunrise shoots using this Charger locomotive were just brilliant. Beautiful photos. That's all included, and it really turned into how to build a technical diorama for a customer, like for a photo, but it was really about how to take photography. We talked about f-stops, we talked about shutter speed, we talked about the various lightings and timings and all the things and how to backlight. You've got to backlight a photograph when you're doing a sunrise shot. Otherwise, this part of the locomotive away from the sun, you're not going to see it. It's
going to be silhouette.
It's on the dark side of the moon, right? so that was interesting. And the last thing I'm going to drop in that is some amazing drone footage. And then the April video is already started. Joe, I've got 20 minutes done on that, as you well know. So yeah, we are moving right along. I am back into my schedule. I've lived 3 months now here on my own, and I've got show production, scheduling, and everything working out really good. So James, tell me how it's like to work for Joe. I know what it's like. I've been working for him for a long time. How do you like it?
Well, it's been an adventure. Like looking through all these different articles, I've learned a lot in the process. So that's been kind of a rewarding aspect of it. That you learn along with everybody else, and you're forced to kind of read everything at a very, very close, very intimate level to try and structure things so that everyone else can digest them well. And so that's been a fun part of the process. And it's been very inspirational for me in terms of planning what I want to do with my own layout when I finally get to build it.
Right.
Of course, to some degree also frustrating for me because I have no place to build a layout right now because that house is, under significant remodel.
I've seen
as
some
I
pictures
go into
of it.
in the editorial.
Can I show some pictures of your house right now?
Oh, sure.
I'll take them right off of Facebook.
All right.
James is adding a second story to his house to have more room for the children so that he can actually open up the basement and build a layout, which is about to start happening.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
pretty
be
exciting.
happening out here.
You're
Yeah.
literally building your house bigger so he can have a train layout. But
Hey, that's the important thing right there.
Well, Allison rolled her eyes so many times when we would look at these Zillow ads, and I'd look at the house and I'd look at the basement. And I was like, this has a finished basement. What are we going to do with that?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to tear it all out and start
Right,
differently.
yeah,
You want that unfinished basement.
Right.
Yeah.
You want that open land of possibilities.
absolutely right. All right, guys, one thing I didn't say was that Santa Fe layout that we were just talking about was run with the NCE power cab system. The guy had a radio unit on there and a tethered system. He had them both. He used them both. And I asked him that, and once he told me the right answer, I was like, rock and roll, because he's really happy with it. It worked. Just like we saw Jean 3 weeks ago running a train for the very first time, and she's never run a train before, and she loved it because it's ergonomically perfect. It just simply works, and that's what we like about what Jim Scorse and all of his folks over there have designed, a perfect system that is simply designed to run trains, and that's all we want to do. We don't want to fuss and muss and try to figure out stuff. We just want to relax and enjoy our trains, and that's what this system allows you to do. So check it out at ncedcc.com. It's kind of amazing. Joe, going around the table one more time. We're coming up on 28 minutes. Have we covered everything tonight?
Yeah, I think so. James knows that we're almost ready to release February.
That's
And the
rolling
February
right along,
issue-
yeah.
February issue will be out in about another week. And it's got some cool stuff in there. It's got part 2 of the Perfect Storm article where he talks about, all right, now that you've completely reworked your layout, what does that do to the operations? So he talks about that. And then I have a piece in there on speed matching. And so I go through a couple of different methods for doing DCC speed matching. And then there's just a whole lot of other articles. Each issue we put, like in MRH, there's like a good half dozen articles in MRH. And then we add another 7 or so articles in Running Extra. So combined then, if you get Running Extra, you actually get the free MRH in the back. So we only have a single download. So half a dozen MRH articles plus another 7 Running Extra articles. So if you subscribe to Running Extra, you're getting 6 plus 7, 13, a dozen plus articles a month
And
on how to do the
A lot of
hobby.
material.
And just tying the theme back to the train show, how many of those old River Rossi cars do you see at train shows? A lot of them.
A lot of them, because I have a great many of them.
Right, you have
Yes.
a great many
Yes.
of them. And every booth I've been to has a huge stash of River Rossi cars that are ready to be bought. And I had a bunch of them growing up, and back in the day, they were really fine cars. There's an article in Running Extra about how you can take those cars and update them so that they run well with your newer equipment. Like getting rid of those pizza cutter wheels, getting them up to the proper weight, even detailing the interior. This article covers some of that to make them really fit in with all the newer stuff that you can get from Walthers or Pito and all that. So
Right.
that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take that NCE power cab that we have down here in the basement, the radio systems. We're each going to get a throttle tonight, and we are going to go run some trains and have some fun, right? So with that, best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it sitting all around me. Joe Fugate, thank you so much for being here. Steve, you're awesome.
Thank you. Thank
You and me
you.
going to go play pool later, right?
Yeah.
Best hobby in the world, guys.
All right.
Okay, let's do a thumbnail shot. Everybody's going to look and wave and be happy, right? Ready? Did he wave? He doesn't have to wave. Okay. He's smiling, though.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There we go.
Okay, I'm going to kill screen capture first.
All
Make
right.
sure we have a good file. And we do have a good file. Here comes sound next. Go ahead and leave camera 1 rolling. I'll run B-roll on it.
Yep.
All right.
How much fun was that? Let's bring Joe back up. And
There we go.
Bring him on the TV screen down here so you can hear him talk. This is amazing technology that we can even do this from the bottom of our basement. Isn't this just amazing? I mean, it's like you've got your own TV studio right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and thanks to, we've actually got to the point now where people are a lot less afraid of virtual,
Right.
right? To actually get on virtual sessions and it's, I think once we've gotten people over the hump,
32 minutes. Once you force them
which
to do
we've
it.
now done, it's like, oh yeah, we can do a virtual session, no problem.
Right.
Good job.
All right.
Good job, Steve.
Thank you.
See, Joe, we having staff meeting on Tuesday. Is that
Yep, we need to talk about March.
okay? Sounds good.
Go ahead, kill it.